I'm back with this month's product placement video. It's the series that I do with Rachel Reynolds on the first of every month. We take one scrapbook supply and we try to use it on our layout and, you know, try to use a lot of it or use it up or new ideas, that kind of a thing. So if you can see this container, which I'm sure you can, we are going to be doing sequins this month. So this is the way I store the majority of my sequins. I bought like a sequin pack at Scrapbook Expo a couple years ago that had gazillions of colors, or maybe I bought 2 packs. It had gazillions of colors in it, and this is what the majority of how I store my sequins. I do have the original way I stored my sequins, which is in these containers that I got at Walmart. They're flat, and then they are individual. You open them up individually. So this gets stored in a drawer. These sit kind of like right in front of me on my desk. That in part is because like there's gold sequins in here, and then there's like the clear and the white, things that I would tend to use more, and or also just I didn't have room in here to do that. So I tried to keep the colors a little bit separated. So like, you know, all my green, except for these 2, is in here. I really tried to do that. It didn't completely work just because of, you know, colors and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to, and there's blue here, so I'm not going to take the time to go back and like pull colors out or anything like that. That just seems like kind of a ridiculous thing to spend the time on for me. At least it does right now. And I'm trying not to be completely anal about the whole thing. So anyway, so I wanted to show you how I store my sequins because I'm going to use them today. My idea is that I am going to create pockets with a piece of vellum. So I'm going to take this cardstock and I'm going to create pockets that go this way across the layout. And I'm thinking, maybe 6, maybe only 5. It would probably be easier to do 6 because then I could do, you know, I could do a straight line here. So what I'll do, I think, is, and I'm not going to show you this because it involves my sewing machine. I think what I'm going to do is sew around here on 3 sides and then sew horizontal lines that run this way on the layout. And then with that idea, then because this is open, I'll be able to dump sequins in and then sew this shut, and I'll have my 5 essentially big shaker pockets. The other idea that I thought about that I'm not going to do with this one, but I might do at another point in time, and this is something you could do if you don't have a sewing machine, is you could take washi tape, close 3 sides of this, and then put sequins in, and then you'd have just one big open space, and then washi tape that last side. So that might be something fun to do. I mean, you could do it with all single colors, but it might be kind of fun to try a rainbow. So I might try that at some point too, but I think I have an idea kind of the photograph I might work with here. I'm not going to show it to you though yet. I'll show it to you when I come back. But I'm thinking what I might end up doing is using pink and blue sequins here. So here's the start of what I'm going to do today. And I am going to go sew this and then I'll come back. Hey everybody, it's Kelly and I'm back. And here are the results of my stitching. This is really not the page. I am done. I have no idea how much time it took me. I did this. Let's see, my bobbin thread got used up. My needle dropped out of my sewing machine at one point. When I was finished sewing, I actually sewed the layout shut. So I'll show you what I did in just a second. So anyway, the reason I'm showing you this is a cautionary tale here. Sew around 3 sides of your layout. That's the first thing you do. 3 sides. Open side, you put sequins in. Then you're going to sew your row. You're going to sew your rows so that, you know, you can put the sequins in. When you sew those rows, sew them perpendicular to that open edge, unlike me. So what I've done here right now is I open this up a little bit. I'll probably come back and open it up a little bit more so that I can put two different kinds of sequins in here, one on top, one on the bottom. I'll see, or maybe I'll just do one kind, a whole bunch of whatever it is, and then just, have two compartments for whatever I end up using this for. But yeah, don't do that. So that was issue number 1. So here is my actual background, and I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but there's two different blue sequins, and there's a pink and a pinky coral sequin in here. And they move, and they're wonderful, and they'll probably drop all down to the bottom like this, but as people look at the layout, they'll move around like that. So this is the photo that I'm going to use, and why I decided I wanted to do the pink and blue, because I have 2 grandsons, and earlier this spring they had a sister born, and they have a chalkboard wall in their playroom, and one of their mom's friends did a couple little took a couple little photos of them. So the little line here was, first we had 1, everything was fun. Then we had 2, everything was blue. Now we have 3, how blessed can we be? So the 1 is in white, the 2 is in blue, and then, because 2 boys, and then the 3 is in pink for the girl. So that's why I decided I needed to do this. So that's the photo. I'm going to scrapbook on this. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to do that. It's getting late. It's about 6 o'clock my time. And really, if I was a person who swore a lot, there would have been a lot of swearing going on for the last, this process probably took me about 2 hours to get to this point, because what I did, I had all these open, and I see I've got a sequin that doesn't match the rest of them, but oh well. Anyway, I sewed this shut before I put the sequins in. I don't know what I was thinking. So what I did is literally, I used my handy little Cricut tweezers that you see me use for letter stickers all the time, and I took the stitching out, and then I literally used my sewing machine and used the little roller, the little side roller thing that makes the needle go up and down, and I literally hand stitched these, so my right arm is a little sore. Anyway, so I've kind of had it with this layout for a little bit. I think I need a break from it, in all seriousness, and I'll come back and do this tomorrow, because I'm gonna go have a glass of wine. And actually, I'll probably have 2 glasses of wine, at least, just from this. But in all seriousness, I think this is really worth it. I would love to try this in a rainbow too, like a Roy G. Biv rainbow, which would be really cool. One of the things that, because I came in about 1/2 an inch here, if I remember correctly, total. Yeah, actually about 1/2 an inch. Then I was thinking at first I wanted to do 3 different kinds of sequins in here. I'm kind of glad I didn't now, but if you're going to do something like that, what I did first is I did this middle line. Don't do that. Divide it up, take your ruler. I used my handy centering ruler. So I was able, when I did this, just to lay it on the outside lines, because those were sewn. And these I determined by the guides on the sewing machine. I just laid this on my paper here, and I did little pencil marks to make that first line. And then I did the same thing with the other 2. But if you were going to do this, you might say, look at this, measure it, and then go, okay, now I want each of these to be 2 inches, or whatever that is, break out and do your lines. You may not be able to do this centered, but if you're okay with the 4, that's fine too, no big deal. But just another little hint, because I've learned a lot today when I did this, and I figured I would. I did this on a day where I had nothing else to do, so I knew I had time to do it. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. I'm planning on using some pink and some blue paper behind here, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do beyond that. But I can tell you already, I love this. My stitching is wonky. I don't care. I think it's just really cool when you look at this the way it looks. So then here's my other thing. This is my sequin box. I have two empty spots here and two empty spots here, and that makes me very happy. So I did meet my goal, which was to use a lot of sequins here in this. But so there you go. That's where I'm starting out. I am going to go grab a glass of wine, but the next time you see me, I'll be on fast forward narrating my process. Okay guys, so here I am back with the finished background and the photo, and I'm thinking as I looked at this that I really wanted something to frame this layout. So I looked at the striped paper first, and then I really liked the chevron, and I think part of it is that it echoes the chevron in that the my grandchildren are sitting on. I think that's a big reason why. So that chevron paper is from Bella Boulevard, the Daily Chevys collection. It's the Chevy Peep paper. And what I'm doing now is I'm cutting off, I think, a quarter of an inch from each side of the layout, and I had to do it from each side so that it would be an even cut. Just to refresh, if I've said this before, I don't remember because it's been 2 days. The white cardstock is Basil, and it's Basil white, and the vellum is from the Paper Studio. It's the 12 by 12 vellum pack that you can get at Hobby Lobby. And then just a miscellaneous sequins. I believe they're all from something that I got at Scrapbook Expo, but I didn't save what they are. So now I want to mount this photo on both pink and blue paper, and I'm just playing around with two different kinds. And then, so I think I really like that pink flower paper there, which is from Bella Boulevard Playdate, and the paper is called Today is Beautiful. And then I'm just auditioning some blue paper. But first I'm going to put the pink paper down behind because I discovered that I'm having a hard time really seeing which blue paper I want to use until I get the pink paper there. So that's a blue star from Bella Boulevard there, and that's the one that I settle on. I did like the other paper, but this blue star, I like the darkness of it with the darkness of the sequins that I'm using. So the star paper is Bella Boulevard Oh My Stars, and it's the blueberry stars. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of measuring so that you can see kind of the same amount of stars so that they look like stars versus having a portion of stars. All right, and now I'm going to look at some die cuts, and these are all from the Bella Boulevard Sweet Baby Girl collection. It's the paper pieces, which is what they call their die cuts. And I liked that die cut that said welcome to the world and the little heart, and I like this little tab to just sort of have 3 spots if you include that banner. And I'm going back and forth between that darker die cut, but I like the lighter pink die cut on there that says So in Love. And then because I'm doing a pink and blue layout together, I pulled these felt stars. They are from the Pepples Special Delivery, the Boy collection, the layered embellishments there. And then to get a little more pink up there, I grabbed this flower die cut from the Bella Boulevard paper pieces from the Sweet Baby Girl collection. And I really like how that turned out, or how that looks. And now, of course, my ATG goes crazy. So you actually can load this pretty fast when you do this. So I love my ATG, but it is also frustrating on some level all the time because it does go crazy. I don't know how else to describe it, but it all of a sudden will catch and it'll stop working. So those of you who use ATGs know this, but ultimately I really like the amount of adhesive it uses and how good it is at sticking things. So I'm just gluing down those couple of die cuts there. And I was originally going to put a title on this, but as I looked at it with all the die cuts and the background, I decided to just call it Now We Have Three. Now We Have Three, because that's prominent on the chalkboard. It's the whole idea behind this. I used Welcome to the World one other time on one of the layouts for my granddaughter. So I did think about using this star up there, but it was too heavy. I think if I had had a second smaller star left, I could have used it, but that just didn't work very well. So then I was looking at the paper pieces and I saw this little blue cloud, and just to get a little more blue on the layout, I just popped that in behind the tab there, and I think that works really well. I'm just futzing a little bit here with that. Then I have the enamel doodads here from Bella Boulevard. It's the punch version of that, and I'm just going to grab the 3 stars from that and put one in each cluster. I like how that turned out in the end. It's just another texture on this layout, and I love how this looks. I don't love how it looks on the screen as I'm looking at it personally, but in the end, the way it looks when you shake it and move it, it looks awesome. So all I did really was date this, and then the layout is done. So I hope you guys are all well. This was a process, but I love how it turned out in the end. I will be back with another layout again soon. Bye.